Welcome back to the worst podcast in the entire universe. I am your host, DJ Fodera, aka the Militant Moreno, aka Leonardo Smackhill, aka the nigga in the yellow Jordan sweatsuit, aka last name your baby mom's first name. I'm fucking. And this is the Culturally Inappropriate Podcast. The one podcast that gets everything wrong but manages to constantly come out and influence the culture. That's what we plan on doing here. We're culturally influencing a youth that needs help. So we're gonna jump right into it. There's a lot been going down this week. Shout out to Kobe. He played his final game the other day. Well, it's yesterday to me, 2 days ago to y'all. And, everybody was all posting their Kobe shit on Instagram. They were talking about, oh, my God. I remember when Kobe first started playing. And, I like to see all these people come out and be like, yo, we love Kobe. And, we're going to miss him and then this, that, and the other. When, a lot of people really do not mess with Kobe like that. Like, Kobe, if he wasn't in the game so long and if he wasn't as good as he is, he would not be getting the send-off that he's getting right now. Like, he would not be getting no Mamba Day. He wouldn't be like all these people doing this shit for him. He wouldn't be getting these YouTube ads, like people talking about, yo, Kobe was probably the greatest of all time, let's honor him and shit like that. People really hate the shit out of Kobe. And I respect all the fake people who just coming out the woodwork saying, yo, I love Kobe, this, that, and the other, Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all for, shout out to the news articles, fuck. It is mad early. Like, do not mind my slurring of the word. Shout out to all the news articles and shit that's going to be writing about Kobe just for, a story because you don't feel like writing anything. Shout out to you guys. And shout out to the ones that's gonna revisit his fucking rape case. Like, can he enjoy 1 day of retirement before y'all bring that up? Before y'all do an article about how he sodomized the hell out of that white girl in that dirty Motel 6 on wherever it happened. Can y'all let him cook at least if not a week, at least a day? Before y'all try to tear down this man's legacy. But I don't think they could because nobody likes Kobe, and that's the good thing about Kobe. He was hated throughout his entire career, so it's really nothing that you could do. It's like the Donald Trump effect. Like, you just make people hate you, but you're so great at what you do. Not that Donald Trump is great at anything. I mean, he's great at inciting riots and bringing racists out the woodwork, so I guess he has that. But other than that, I don't know. I don't know what he does. I don't know, but shout out to him. But anyway. Shout out to Donald Trump because he's saying yo, the Illuminati is trying to not let me become president, and the Republicans are plotting against me because they're saying I don't know what I'm talking about and all this other bullshit. And I've been saying this for the longest. Donald Trump is not going to be motherfucking president, okay? If you clearly read what the Republicans are saying about him, they don't want that nigga up there. They do not need this dumbass in the White House talking about, yo, we gonna go to war with Mexico and China and all this other shit. They're like, whoa, G. Like, you can talk bad about the Mexicans, but dog, do you know where we get our stuff from? Do you know what American-made shit looks like? Okay? I'm not trying to drive a car that was made here. You know why? Because that shit will break down as soon as I get out the lot. Okay? So, yeah, he's not going to become president, and that's a wonderful thing. Round of applause for that. I might edit a round of applause in there. I don't know. I'm mad lazy, and I don't have iMovie, which is really, it makes for easy editing of shit. So if y'all want to sponsor me and get me a Mac laptop so y'all can get sound effects and shit on this, because I am way too lazy to edit sound effects and all that onto this. I know I want to do a lot of production value, but I'm not getting paid for this. No one's paying me. I don't have a crew. I don't have a whole bunch of people set up helping me record and stuff. So I don't think I have to record for y'all. I don't think not record. I don't think I have to do that much for the little bit of people that's listening. I get 5 to 6 plays a week, so I'm not that pressed on like sound effects and shit. Y'all, if you're listening to this, you already know what you signed up for. If you are continuing to listen to this every week, you know the quality that I put into this shit, okay? It is bare minimum at the very best. On the best day, it is the bare minimum of what you would get from anywhere else. So, shout out to you. Shout out to everyone that's settling for less, okay? That's my thing. People be like, oh, why you always like bitches be like, I know I seen this tweet. It was like, bitches be so pressed about like little shit, like if he wash your feet, or if he tells you I love you in the morning, or if he stays over your house after y'all just fucked. Like they be so impressed by like the little shit, and you can say like, yo, y'all being impressed by like mediocre stuff, or you can say that person appreciates the little things in life. Because you know what? Some people don't have that. Like how they say like the starving Africans over there, like when your parents be like, yo, if you better eat your food because niggas is starving over in Africa and they would really appreciate this. And I'm like, yeah, but what the hell does that have to do with you burning the macaroni and cheese that you just made and you're trying to force me to eat it? Like, yes, they're starving, but what does that have to do with me? How is that going to make me appreciate this shit? It's not. But, in this scenario, it worked. Yeah, you have to like spin it. You gotta be like, in this scenario, it works. Maybe them girls are just appreciating the little things in life. Like, you know what? They know that if they weren't with this piece of shit nigga, they would be alone. And they would be going through the heavy dick withdrawals, and they would wind up looking like Golem from off of the Lord of the Rings. And they don't want that to happen. So they're appreciating the little things that their nigga does. Like, if he says, hey, I appreciate your company after you guys fuck, and she posts that on Twitter and says, oh my God, babe, just say he appreciate my company. Let her cook. Don't tear these ladies down just because they want to appreciate a not cornball. Just because they appreciate the minimal effort that a nigga's putting in. Because some dudes, they're not even putting in effort at all. They're just like, hey, come over because my balls are full and I need them drained by your washing machine of a mouth. And we're trying to erase that nomenclature from society. We need people to start appreciating the little things that everyone does. No one says thank you to your neighborhood fireman. No one says thank you to the mailman. And then we actually get mad about like mail people delivering mail late. Like, they're really doing us a favor because we could go to the post office and pick our shit up ourselves, but we don't. There's someone's job to do that. But people keep complaining about the mailman, like, yo, why the fuck you keep coming late? Why, or you got my mail wrong, dog? Like, why you keep giving me these fucking dildos in the mail? I didn't order these are going to my neighbor. Please stop delivering this stuff to me. We fail to realize that is a luxury. That is a husky luxury. We could be forced to go to the post office, okay, and pick up our own mail. We need to start appreciating the little things in life. But not niggas that... I'm not saying like we need to start tipping. No, I don't believe in tipping people. That is not appreciating the little things in life. Like someone delivering you some food. That is a freaking hassle. Yes, back in the day, maybe them little young boys needed to tip. Like, pause. Pause. Whoa, that was very questionable what I just said. Yeah, but maybe them waiters and like the young boys that used to drive the pizza and deliver it and stuff, maybe they needed to tip, because they weren't getting paid. Pause again. It's just no way to say that without it sounding wild, creepy. Because they weren't getting paid, it was basically slavery. They was getting paid $1 a week, and they was like, yo, can you look out, man? I mean, I'm doing you a favor, but now it's their jobs to like drop shit off. They're getting paid to drive there. You're getting paid $8.45 an hour to deliver this pizza. Why the hell are you going to suggest to me to tip you? Like, dog, do you see this goddamn receipt? I'm paying $45 for some pizza and breadsticks, and you expect me to tip you? My nigga, if you don't get some, if you don't hassle with your manager to get more money from Domino's, I really can't say anything to you. Do not come to me and be like, hey, my brother, will you decide to give me a nice tip for delivering your pizza? My nigga, ain't this what you got hired for? Like, I put in an application for that shit. Yeah, they don't give you a car, but, I'm sure they reimburse you gas. Or do they? Do pizza places reimburse gas? If they if like you're delivering for like a food place, do they reimburse gas? If they don't, that is mad petty. Like that is mad grimy. Maybe they should. Nah. Because if you sign up for it, you already know. Yo, if they don't reimburse gas, that is entirely fucked up. So you got me driving all around in my car that I have to use. So if I piss off someone's order or if I bring it late, they're going to be mad at me and they're going to try to bust out my windows. That is wild fucked up. Like, y'all can't get like no cars or nothing, like some fucking 2007 Mitsubishi Galants up in the joint, or a nice Toyota, not a Corolla, more like a Honda Accord, or like a 2007 Honda Civic. Yeah, y'all can afford to buy like 2007 Honda Civics, paint them blue and stuff, and put a nice domino sticker on there and just deliver things. I don't know why you gotta like get people to do that. I mean, or you could buy like taxi cabs and just paint them blue and do that. I don't know. What the hell was I talking about? Hassling? I don't know. It was something about tips. Oh yeah, tips. I don't believe in tips. Yeah, I'm not tipping you. You know, I don't care if you don't get it reimbursed for your gas, that's your fault, dog. Quit. Like, there's so much stuff you could do. You could become an Uber driver. You don't see, do Uber drivers get tipped? Hold on. Are you supposed to tip a cab driver? Aren't cab drivers and delivery people doing the same thing? I mean, yeah, one is delivering something to you, but the other one is actually driving you somewhere. So, do you tip them? Do they think, is that what delivery people think they are? Like taxi people? Why the fuck do they think they need so much money? Like, no, my G, you're getting paid to drive around. I would love to do that. Maybe you're not getting paid as much as an Uber or like a Lyft driver or, what's the other genre? Not taxis. Family cab? Yo, I hate to work for a family cab. Yo, family cab really been out here before Uber, and they have not. Man, black people really do not know how to take a good idea and run with it. Like, family cab used to be the shit. I mean, them niggas used to get robbed all the time. But, yo, family cab been out here before Uber, trying to take over taxi jobs, and they haven't managed a way to monetize on it. Black people, we need to start monetizing our ideas, man. We always talk about cultural appropriation and how the white man is stealing things from us and taking our Yo, what, the white man stole Uber? Who the hell made that? Yeah, but we always talking about how the white man's stealing our shit and stuff, and the white man always talking about Mexicans is stealing our jobs. We need to start monetizing these ideas, because there's some great ideas, but we just don't know how to work businesses. We need to learn like business classes and stuff. That's what they should teach you in like high school and everything. Why do they teach you math? Why the hell are we learning like dumb shit in high school? Like, when we are on the real world, I know we have to like learn some shit, but certain things in high school you don't need to know. Like science, for instance, science. I can understand you using math in regular life, but unless you're gonna be like a scientist and shit, who the fuck needs to learn what levels of acidity is in spit and fucking lemons and shit like that? Like, who the fuck needs to learn all of that? Nobody. A regular job, unless I'm being a scientist, I shouldn't have to learn that. Y'all should be teaching us other shit like how to start a business, how to get a job after school, how to control your sexual urges. And that segues me into my new topic. So, Erykah Badu, political activist / musical artist, Erykah Badu, recently said some very problematic things on Twitter. And she got taken out the paint by feminist Twitter. Or, people who call themselves feminists Twitter. She was saying stuff like, at first I was on board for what I wasn't really on board. I wasn't paying attention to this shit at all, for real. But I was like, yo, why is people mad at Erykah Badu? Like, she has the mad fatty and she looks like she is wild chills. Like, what's up? But she was saying, you know what, young girls, maybe, if you don't want your teachers to hit on you because they are sexually attracted to your form and figures, you should wear less scandalous clothing. Don't come into school with half of your areola showing, and maybe, you won't get hit on by a teacher. And a lot of people saw that as problematic. Now, I get what she was saying. Paul, but let me prefix this. Prefect. I don't know what the fucking word is, but let me say something so that you know that I don't mean something else. Pedophilia is wrong in every which way, shape, or form. Rape is wrong in every which way, shape, or form. There is no middle ground. There is nothing you need to explain about like rapists being the scum of the earth and pedophiles. Now, what Erica was trying to say was, I don't know what the fuck she was trying to say. I guess I honestly don't know, because I don't know what, because she started off like teachers is attracted to high school students, and like that in and of itself is like problematic. Maybe she didn't include that tweet, because that's what a lot of people was running with. Like she was like, they took it like she was saying, yo, maybe y'all wouldn't get approached by y'all high school teachers if y'all wasn't going there dressed like Rihanna. And you know, that is very problematic. First of all, you're telling women what to wear, and in 2016 they really don't like that. They don't like that at all. If you say, hey, you know, we're at a professional function, why are your titties out? A girl will be like, yo, don't tell me what the fuck to wear. Like, I'm a feminist, da-da-da-da-da. I can wear whatever I want. I can be a hoe if I want. I can suck a dick and then go on a dinner date with my mom and then get fucked and suck a dick and come back to the exact same dinner date. Da-da-da, 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 da-da-da. You know, and, you know, I don't know. I can't really help her with that, man. Like, you look mad cool and all, but you've been problematic from the start. I guess now we're finally seeing it come to light, you know? But it's amazing to see this shit happen to her, because I've been saying for the long... It's amazing to see this shit happen to her, because it proves my theory that Twitter can get anyone out the paint. It doesn't matter who you are and how beloved you are. Twitter can get any and everyone out to paint. So I'm going to start watching what I say on Twitter from now on. From now on, I'm going to be a little less problematic, because I tweet some very scandalous shit. Follow me on there, DJ Fodera. Self-promotion. I mean, if you're listening to this, you already have to follow me on there. Or don't you? I don't know. If you want more of this podcast, like if you listen to this and you say, hey, this wasn't so bad, you know, go follow me on Twitter. But back to Erykah Badu. You need to chill. Just stay. People don't care about like the truth if the lie is more entertaining. Shout out to Charlamagne the God for saying that. I don't know if he came up with that, but you know, that's who I hear say it the most. So shout out to him. I don't want nobody to say I stole this, because plagiarism is a very severe accusation. But yeah, Erykah, you can't really say like, yo, don't try to make sense of shit. I don't know. But she did like have a point. Like, all these high school kids, they looking more and more like adults, and it's because of the shit that we put in the food. You know, like I see kids and I'm like, yo, how old are you? Chick 13 looking like she's 32 with with 2 kids. I'm like, yo, I feel sorry for your parents. Like, this is a sad world. I see old heads hollering at young girls all the time, like, yo, shawty, what's up? I'm like, dog, that chick can be your fucking granddaughter. Like, get a grip. Niggas is wild out here. And you know, people saying we need to start making men take accountable for their actions. I wholeheartedly agree with that. I agree with that 100%. Like, niggas really don't know right from wrong. And I pray to God when I get old, that doesn't become me hollering at 14-year-olds in front of a grocery store. That is the epitome of washed. Like, that is like nasty. Like I know I want to get old to where I don't give a fuck and just be saying like the wildest shit, and people just be like, hey man, we gotta let him cook. He's 85. But you know, I ain't trying to get to the point where I'm like looking at young joints and being like, I wonder what she tastes like. I don't know. That's just mad problematic. Yo, shout out to all the old, well, not really shout out, but you know, let's put all the old heads on blast that be fucking like teenagers that could be their granddaughter. Shout out to all the old heads that fuck their granddaughter's friends. Like, you guys are sick. That put a bad taste in my mouth. Pause. I don't know where I was going with that. But yeah, these kids nowadays, they looking more and more like adults. And it's the shit that we see put in the food. Like, I seen an apple that was the size of a goddamn cantaloupe. Now, there is no reason in fucking hell we should have apples the size of baby heads. America, what's going on? Like, I know we're trying to combat like diseases and shit, and we live in a supply and demand era, but yo, we need to chill with all the hormones and artificially growing stuff. Like, we're entering an age that is really dangerous. Like, we're inventing new diseases like Zika and what's another one? Ebola and ma I don't know. I can't think of a disease name right now. But yeah, we're coming up with like weird diseases and shit, and we're making stuff happen that's not supposed to happen. Like it's snowing in April and July. You know, we're really messing with the balance of nature. You know, soon we're gonna have robots that think that they're humans, and you know it's gonna be lit, and we're gonna see what happens. Yeah, shout out to Erica Badu. I hope you get the help that you need. Nah, nah, not that. Shout out Erica Badu. I hope that you survive this Twitter slander. In other music news, your boy Aubrey Graham, Drizzy Drake. Now, I don't want to take credit for this, but I happen to be an influencer. And your boy, Aubrey Graham, he went out and said, you know what? Maybe I don't want to do the secrecy thing because someone is going to try and leak my stuff before I get a chance to put it out. So let me put a release date out there. And he said that he's dropping his new album, Views from the Six, April 29th. You know, I don't want to take credit for it, but last week I vehemently stated that, Drake, you need to chill with all that incognito stuff and just, you know, announce it regularly. I know Beyonce does that all the time, but guess what? She's Beyonce. Yes, you're at the point where you could do that, but my G, do you really want to? Don't you want to do those Adele numbers? Like, we seen what she did. She did 3 milli her first week and went on to sell like 10 mil within the first month. My dog, don't you want to do that? Don't you want to be up there? And I know people say like sales don't matter, but when they're on that type of scale, they kind of do. So, you know, I know for a fact you want that. Even as much as you try to deny it on Instagram, being like, hey, man, I do a bad Drake impression. That does not sound like him at all. I don't know. Fuck it. I'm rolling with it. Hey, man, you know, as long as the fans like it, that's what I'm really doing this for, man. Like, I don't care about all them numbers and them accolades and stuff, but it would be nice to have it, you know. Yeah. That's not what he sounds like at all. I do not do impressions well. Like, I can do a couple of people well, but I cannot. There are just certain people that I can't do impressions of. Sorry for that. But yeah, thank you for releasing thank you for announcing the release date, you know. And this better be good. I don't know why people keep saying like he's gonna drop like a whack album. Like, when has he ever dropped a whack album? This is exactly what people thought when before Back to Back came out. I was like, yo, Meek is gonna body him. Yo, Drake, you fucked up. Meek is about to body you. He's a battle rapper. He's a hard battle rapper from Philly. And we saw what happened to Meek. So I think I don't want to jump out the face and say, yo, this is going to be a dope album because everybody is denying it and shit. But, you know, it may be a dope album. It may be the one that makes everyone be like, oh, shit. Yeah, Drake is that nigga. This is going to be an album that makes people say, yo, Drake is that nigga. I'm not trying to jinx it, but, you know, I am kind of the influencer because he heard me threatening him and he dropped that release date. So, you know, I don't know what's going to happen. You know, shout out to him. Shout out to Odell Beckham Jr. for staying at Drizzy's house and partying with him while he's been recording Views. You know, that is pretty dope. And a lot of people were saying it's also pretty sus. It's not really, because how many niggas stay at their other friend's house when they're when they want to, like when they're just trying to get away from their girl, when they forgot to pay rent and they're getting kicked out of their house, or they're ducking their landlord so they don't have to pay rent, or when they just, you know, want to get away from the world and want to go mooch off of someone else to just go over to the friend's house. How many niggas do that, you know? How many chicks right now is staying with a chick that she calls her sister that she's only known for a month because she's come on tough times, you know? But, you know, I get why people saying it's zesty because Drake, he's been very suspicious Like, he's done a lot of suspicious behavior back in the day, from moaning, "Ooh, so good, Lil Wayne," to, yo, somebody needs to ask him about that. Like, he did a lot of sus things back then. He even looked mad sus. He's from saying Lil Wayne to allegedly arching his eyebrows to sliding in strippers' DMs like with a wild ass shot. That is very sus. But, and people think Adele, he's very zesty. Like, they think that he's a spicy individual because he has the wild flame tips and he does the zesty dance moves on the field. I kind of get what they mean. I didn't understand it at first. I just thought, I'm like, yo, why is people calling Odell gay? I think that's insulting and disrespectful. Like, a nigga can't dance and have like a cool hairdo without being called gay. Like, maybe people saying he was staring at a nigga's ass, allegedly. Like, maybe it was something on the floor, Maybe the dude was doing like some hand signs, doing sign language and with his hand near his ass, and he was like, oh shit, he's trying to signal me a message. I don't know. Maybe that's what he was doing. You can't just jump out the face and call someone gay just because they dance, right? Like, that's like calling a nigga a thug because he has on a hoodie, or maybe because he has a couple tattoos and he walks around with a gun, Maybe just because I'm listening to 21 Savage doesn't mean I am about that murder game, And just because Odell likes to dance around like Zesty kid, he ain't even really dancing zestily. I mean, well, he is kind of, but dancing is supposed to be zesty. Like, look at anybody do a dance and it looks mad zesty. Like, there's not really any dance that looks straight. Like, if we go back to the Step It Up era, is that what that movie was called? Step It Up, Break It Down, whatever the fuck. All them dancing movies, like, these, if you go back and look at it, if you've seen somebody in real life doing that, only because it's a choreographed movie is it like okay. But if you see someone in real life doing that, you'd be like, you look wild zest, my man. Like, even the dudes on the that's what breakdancing is. Breakdancing is like the only kind of non-sus dance. Like, that's what it was made for. And shout out to black people for being the only ones to create a non-zesty dance. Like, shout out to you guys. You really are homophobic as hell. We need to stop this in the black community. We need to stop calling people gay just because they like different things. Like, okay, maybe I go out and I want a mimosa. No, does that mean that I'm effeminate? No, it just means I have taste. I don't want my stomach burning after 3 mimosas. I don't want my stomach burning after 3 hits of this, I just want to go out and get a little wasted. White boy wasted, like the people say. I might enjoy a little mimosa, little Gruyere. Is that what that shit is called? Gruyere? What is that other shit? Maybe a little appletini. Something that says, you know what? Maybe I want to go to a gay bar because they be having good drinks. They know how to party. That doesn't mean that I'm gay. It just means I know taste and I know party. Maybe I'm cool with a bunch of gay people. You know why? Because they're fashionable. Like, tell me a gay nigga that dresses bad. That's another thing. Odell Beckham Jr. can't be gay because he doesn't have the swag of a gay man. He doesn't have, as Tyler. No, I'm not saying that because you can't say the F word. And not fuck. I'm not talking about fuck. You cannot say that. I'm not trying to get out the paint like Erykah Badu. Shout out to him. But, yeah, Odell doesn't have the swag of a gay man. So, you can't really give him that credit. He's just a really good dancer. And he just because he likes to dance in front of a man's pool and stay in a mansion doesn't mean that he's gay. It just means he's out there. He's getting money and he really doesn't care. And that's what matters, We're trying to break down those walls. We're trying to break down the walls of gender roles. Is that what people call them? Gender roles, gender norms, whatever the fuck. We're trying to reach the point where we're all like Wally in the sense that we don't believe in gender. If you want to be a girl and you have a dick, you can be a girl. If you want to be a dude and you have a vagina, you can be a dude. But to all you ladies out there who are saying I identify as a dude, you get in my face, and I am duffing you out like I would any other dude. So don't try me. Speaking of Drake, because we always have to come back to this, Meek Mill, the petty princess that he is dropping his new mixtape, Dream Chasers 4, on April 29th. How do we know this? Because a countdown on the My Mixtapes app stated that his new mixtape will be dropping April 29th. That is, ironically, maybe it's just a coincidence that he's dropping it the same day Drake is dropping Views from the Six, That is like really petty, my G, and I dig it. Shout out to you for being able to release music. That's me influencing again. I was saying, yo, calm down, don't drop no music while you on house arrest, dog. Like, get on Melly to drop it or let it leak. And you went to your judge and was like, yo, let me make some music. I'm trying to get back at this nigga Aubrey. Like, how am I supposed to eat if I'm not allowed to make music? Like, all right, dog, you can drop some shit. It just got to be free. That's perfectly fine for him because he ain't gonna sell mixtape. He can still make money off of it by touring and shit and performing the songs. But, other than that, like he said, he made $1 million off a mixtape. 100,000 mixtapes sold. Facts. Those are just some of the quotes that he says in his old mixtape. If you go listen to them. But, shout out to him for keeping up the grudge against Mr. Aubrey Graham. He's going to keep going back and forth. And for every song on Drake's Views from the Six, Meek is going to have a freestyle. And he's going to be dissing him. So I look forward to that. Shout out to him for consistently just... Shout out to him. Shout out to the people for thinking that he broke up with Nicki Minaj about a week ago. And she went on Ellen and it was like, yo, we ain't broken up. I just don't want to talk about my relationship with you guys. And I totally get that. People, stop posting your relationship on Instagram and Twitter and stuff. Stop letting us into your personal life because it is not that fun. Like, do you hear me talk about my personal life besides being broke? No, you don't, because you niggas don't need to know that. I'm not famous enough to where as though my personal life matters, and neither are you. So we need to stop this trend. We need to stop this trend of, hey, you get a little exposure, and now you get big-headed, like your man, DJ Khaled. This nigga is the living embodiment of a coke dream. He is riding high off the success of Snapchat, and he's just spazzing everywhere. It is just a matter of time before he's spouting facts about being the new Messiah on Sway in the Morning. Like, he was recently on Hot 97, and he went off on them niggas. Talking about, do not try to touch the throne. Like, I got Jay-Z, I got Apple, I got Epic. We the best. Yo, I'm trying to get up there, man. I am trying to get to the point where that's going to be me. That's going to be me in a year. I'm going to be on Sway in the Morning, and I'm going to be like, you don't have the answer, Sway. Like, the sun cannot shine as bright as me, dog. I am that dude. Yeah, I want to get up there. I want to taste that power, because it's just got to be some type of high to ride. Like, people hyping the shit out of you. That's what happens when you're your own hype man and like you can do no wrong. So shout out to DJ Khaled for being the living embodiment of a coke dream. You just don't know when to stop anything, dog. Like, you just keep going. And you're going to ride this Snapchat wave into whatever comes next because you're like immortal. Shout out to him for lying about losing weight. Like, this nigga is all about... Shout out to him for being the only nigga that eats healthy food and doesn't lose weight. He works out all the time. He's starting to eat healthy now. He's talking about, I'm a vegan alert. And he hasn't lost shit. And he's bragging like, do you see this weight loss, dog? Like, do you see the weight shedding? My G, you look as heavy as you did before. Like, you probably need to pay a visit to Dr. Miami or something. Because, you can't get rid of man boobs by just working out, dog. Like, you got to get surgery to get them shits taken off. So, that might be your problem. When people say big bone, like, just, they look at this nigga and be like, yo, maybe we're right about this big bone thing. Because that nigga... I don't understand how he can work out constantly and not lose weight. I really don't get that, But shout out to him. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. He got a new album coming out. It's called like some Snapchat title. We the best. Oh, Major Key. Yeah, he has an album coming out. Major Key. Shout out to him for riding the success and like refusing to jump over the shark. Like, he just refuses to die like other people whose careers just go. This man just refuses to let that happen to himself, and I respect it. Like, as funny as he is, I respect him 100%. Shout out to everybody that's gonna drop an album soon. Big Sean, probably Beyonce, because Jay-Z is gonna be petty and want to take Sean away from Drake. Shout out to that. Shout out to who else? Shout out to everybody that's just gonna drop when Drake drops, just to get a little shine. Try to take shine away from him. Shout out to Kanye. If he ever is gonna drop that second album this year, I highly doubt it, because he is a habitual dream seller. Like, he's like the piece of shit nigga that you dating that say, yo, I'ma get it together, I'ma get a job, I got an interview lined up, and then like you realize you believe, you have hope. You're like, oh my God, maybe this nigga's turning his life around, maybe I won't have to put up with his bullshit no more. And then he just does the same thing, and you can't leave because the dick is too good. Pause. You say in your heart, like, I'ma leave this nigga, but then like he start kissing on your neck, calling you boo, making you breakfast, and like, yo, God's working on all of us, babe. And you get that hope, and it turns out it's not true. So shout out to you for lying to us. Shout out to fucking Frank Ocean for having his manager say, like, yo, Frank's album is done and he can drop it any time. Fuck you, man. That is like, what the fuck? Like, everybody dropping their shit now. Drake is finally dropping. Beyonce is going to drop. Her album is done. You're not working on Kanye's like you was on the last one. You better not be on this new one, dog. Like, fuck you, man. You could drop this shit anytime you want and you don't? Come on, dog. Why? Why? Like, you are starting to lower your level. Like, you can't just come out, drop an album, and then disappear like Lauryn Hill did. You can't be. You're not a great anymore. You're just a one-hit wonder. We need to hear more. Like, you always be like, yo, I'm better than Chris Brown, I'm better than Miguel, and all this other shit. But regardless, like, you ain't drop anything else. Drop something, my G. You just hiding, riding the success, getting all the gay niggas that you want. I know you're happy and stuff, but just do this for the fans. Drop that new album. I don't know, man. I don't know. You just shout out to everybody that sells dreams. Yeah, shout out to everyone. Shout out to Sierra for still being hurt about Future. Shout out to Future for probably still wanting to get her back. Like, this nigga is constantly singing about, I'm gonna get my old girl back, I'm gonna get my bitch back, I want my bitch back, Sierra, please come back. And yet, no one seems to acknowledge that. We really need to get a support crew for Future, because this nigga is wild depressed. Like, he might really I think he's over the age where he can join the 27 club, but he might really go out like in a blaze of glory, because he really misses Sierra, and I can tell that she still feels some type of way about him, because they're always there on Twitter and Instagram blowing each other's spot up like a nigga and his baby moms. Like a nigga and his baby moms that still love each other and be fucking on the low. Like, she might not be getting dick from Russell, but she definitely, that's probably why she's like being mad petty. Like, she didn't say his name at this award announcement. That's why she's being petty, because Russell is not slinging that wild, very medium rare cooked dick to her. Like, he needs to give her the peener soon, because she's going through dick withdrawals. And like, when chicks go through dick withdrawals, for whatever reason, they bring up their ex, because they remember that strong, hard wood that he used to put down, and it strikes a chord in their heart, and also in their vagina. I don't know where I was going with that. Shout out to y'all. I hope y'all get your shit together and stop being in the news, because y'all not as exciting anymore. Like, it's cool, but we're on to the new things. We're on to the Rob Kardashians and the Black Chynas for about a week until they break up. Shout out to you. Shout out to all the piece of shit niggas that's with girls that's way out of their leagues. Shout out to all the girls that's about to get out of a relationship just so they can fuck that nigga that they've been plotting on for the past week. Shout out to all the people that's been in the gym and been working on their bodies and stuff. You deserve whatever comes to you for summer. I don't know. And shout out to you for listening to this very terrible episode. I don't know why. I just feel like this shit was awful. Like, it went on too long. It wasn't that interesting. If you listen to this, like, I want to give you a hug, because this was not good at all. This was terrible. I should be ashamed of myself, but I'm still gonna put it out there. This was the Culturally Inappropriate Podcast. I'm your host, DJ Fodera, and we are out of here.